Good morning. So when I sit back and I think about what I want to cover in my videos, I want to cover stuff that are basic that you should they're not going to change, and that you should be able to write down in stone kind of deal, right? And I know when we're talking about survival, when you look at videos, when you look at other things, there's a lot of different stuff out there, and there's different tarps, and there's different saws and different axes. And I'm not saying don't have those things. Absolutely, in any survival situation, probably the first step. Or I was about to say that there's multiple things you need to remember, but like one of the big things is be prepared, right? If you have a kit that separates you already, that puts you well ahead of the game. And number two is remember your first type of shelter is the shelter you're wearing, like the shelter on your body. This counts. If I'm dressed for the appropriate weather, for the temperature that I expect to happen, if I've checked the weather beforehand, again, that goes back to the being prepared aspect of it. But that's going to put me ahead of the game. If it's 30 degrees today, it's 35. If I'm out here in shorts and a t-shirt, this is a whole different ball game, right? This changed a bunch of scenarios. So I just wanted to take a step back. Let's go back to very basic stuff, and let's just talk about a debris shelter, something that we can throw together relatively quickly, right? And I have nothing on me. I do have my gloves. That's it. But we're going to build a shelter out of stuff that we just can find laying around in the ground, and something that will get us through the night. Now, it won't be overly comfortable. It won't be fancy by any means, but it's going to be down and dirty. How we can make it through the night, so we don't get that. So we get through those cold temperatures, so we don't die of exposure and stuff like that. All right, stick with me. Okay, I walked around a little bit, and this is the best spot I found. There's a little bit of a hole right here, but I think I can make that work. This tree is also kind of in my way, but again, depending on how much time I had, depending on the temperature, like say we were, an hour away from dark, I'm not going to spend a lot of time searching for the perfect spot, right? I'm going to make something work. We got this big root ball here from this down pine. Luckily, that means if the tree's down, there's the dead top up here. There's another dead top right here behind me from another pine tree that fell. So there's plenty of sticks and logs and stuff like that lying around that are gonna be easy for me to grab to start throwing this thing together. You can see I have one side completed. I put little limbs running the opposite directions, right, more parallel. They'll catch more leaves for me. Coming down here, I stacked up some logs underneath. You create a little bit more room. The shelter's on a hill. You can see we have this about a third of the way done. I left this side open, so I'm gonna try to get some more logs, try to make an actual kind of raised bed in here. That way when the leaves get smashed down and everything, I at least have something keeping me off the ground, right? And I wanted to at least get that side done. I can work my way back here, work on this side, start putting stuff in here, throw more leaves inside of here to help insulate, right? And then I'll come back, put my rafters on top here, and just start piling more and more leaves. You're not gonna have too many leaves, I promise you. Okay, apparently my microphone went out when I was recording this in the field.
All I'm saying is I put these logs in here to make that raised bed, and the most important thing is you can see they're close together where my upper body's going to be. I'm trying to keep my core off the ground so I stay warm so I can better regulate my heat. It's just hard to get the logs lined up right when you're not working with any tools.
So there you have it. Real simple debris hut. Obviously you can tell like the wind's coming from this direction. That's why this opening's on this side. I could always get some sticks and, you know, make a door, pull them in behind me. And you would want as many leaves as you could get. Keep piling them on until you're tired of doing it, and then pile some more. This right here is stopping wind, but this isn't near enough to stop like if it was a real steady rain, okay? But if I'm just trying to get out of the wind, get out of the elements, it's warm in there. I got all those leaves piled up in there. They're just kind of covering me. This will get you through a real cold night, especially if you already have the right clothes on, right? The main takeaway from this is you don't have to get real fancy about it. You don't have to have a lot of cool gear and all that kind of stuff because this is a very basic. I use no tools. I use the vise and trees and broke sticks off, and that's how I put it all together. But if I would have had a tarp and some string and a knife and a saw, this would have been a lot easier. I would have used a lot less calories, and especially like if I was injured, this would have been a lot more difficult to make as if I had a tarp and a lighter and all those kind of things already. Just a little safety precaution thing here. If you do build a debris hut, don't build a fire inside of it, okay? We just made a giant tinder ball here. Uh, you know, obviously, if you're gonna have a fire outside of your shelter, okay. If you want to leave this side exposed, make sure you're the right distance away. But don't try to build a fire inside here with all this dry sticks and tinder because it's going to catch on fire. Okay. But hey, again, thanks for watching. Appreciate it.